A man is waking up behind bars this morning after a shootout in South Nashville. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres at the CJC with more on this, and some of these details are pretty disturbing, it sounds like, Matthew.
Steve, they really are. Metro Police said that last Thursday, the victim and the suspect in this case, they got into an altercation before they started firing shots at each other. That victim was sent to the hospital, and since then, the police have been searching for a suspect. It wasn't until yesterday afternoon when they finally arrested 18-year-old Anthony Gergi. He is being charged with attempted criminal homicide this morning. Not only was he involved in the shooting, but police say he waited until the victim no longer had ammunition on him to approach him. Now, keep in mind, the victim was already shot before Gergi shot him again. This all happened on Martin Street in South Nashville. Metro Police say that Gergi admitted to firing shots during his interview, and apparently the victim had something that belonged to Gergi. As far as the events that led up to the shooting, the details of that was not immediately known. Again, the victim was sent to the hospital and should be fine. Now, we did some checking into his criminal past, and get this, Gergi was arrested for the first time yesterday for this incident. He is in jail this morning being held on a $350,000 bond. We are reporting live at the Criminal Justice Center. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD.
Thank you, Matthew. New this morning, a man is in the hospital after being shot in the leg early this morning. Happened on Claiborne Street just after 1 o'clock. The 25-year-old victim was taken to Vanderbilt with non-life-threatening injuries. Police don't have much information to release because they tell us the victim is not cooperating with the investigation. An accused drug trafficker is still in the hospital this morning after being shot by Metro detectives. Police say that Matthew McCurvey opened fire on 2 detectives while they were trying to search his apartment yesterday. Special investigators got a search warrant for his Hawkins Street apartment after they learned that a pound of crystal meth came from that location. McCurvey is suspected of arranging for the Nashville delivery of both crystal meth and heroin. No officers were injured in the shootout, and McCurvey is expected to recover.
A teenager who accidentally shot himself in the head has died. Craig Lambert was sitting at a picnic bench at Hadley Park Monday night when he dropped his gun and it went off, hitting him in the head. Funeral arrangements for that 19-year-old are still in the works.
New details about the body found in Percy Priest Lake late Tuesday. The victim has been identified as Hyan Somerville. Investigators say she crashed her car on the Hobson Pike Bridge early Tuesday morning. It's not clear how she ended up falling into the water, but an autopsy found no signs of trauma.
New this morning, a man's been arrested for driving on a revoked license for the 7th time now. It happened in Murfreesboro along Middle Tennessee Boulevard. According to WGNS Radio, Jerry Marable was pulled over after driving at night without any headlights on. And that's when police say they pulled him over and found 6 prior charges for a suspended license. He also, they say, had marijuana and cocaine in the car. He has been booked at the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center, facing charges of driving on a revoked license, drug possession, and also a theft warrant that comes out of Sumner County. Well, last night, parents and students for Metro schools had their first look at potential changes to the K-12 program. The East Nashville Advisory Committee met with school officials to talk about different pathways for the struggling Stratford cluster of schools. Rose Covington was one of the parents concerned about relocating the middle school kids across town and putting them in a lower priority school. She wants the district to address the problems at all schools, not just move the kids across town.
Why you take his kids out of a working school that is working perfectly and throw them in a school that it's not thriving at all? My kids are thriving here.
Another community meeting on this issue is scheduled for next Tuesday at Bailey Middle School. Meantime, 4 of Nashville's lowest performing schools will have new principals after a nationwide search. They've already been hired months earlier than usual to start turning things around. Tracy McPherson is just one member of the district's new turnaround corps. The corps has been recruited to transform not only the lowest performing schools, but the whole state. McPherson said her turnaround plan focuses on professional development for teachers and getting parents more involved, and that might even mean going to the homes where those parents are. Now, the turnaround principals have just 3 years to get 1/3 of the students who are years behind on grade level back up to where they need to be. They will be spending the next few months meeting with teachers, introducing themselves, and coming up with a game plan for the next school year.
A disturbing discovery made by Davidson County DA Glenn Funk. Nearly 150 cases of child abuse have been overlooked, some for more than a decade. Funk says those cases are virtually untouched going back to before he took office. As a result, those children may have been left in dangerous situations. Funk has assigned a team of prosecutors to go through each case one by one. He's also implementing new protocols to make sure each case is reviewed in a timely manner. And despite constitutional questions by the state attorney general's office, a controversial proposal continues to advance in the legislature. It would make the Bible the official Tennessee state book. That proposal went to a vote and passed 2-1 in a committee yesterday, a subcommittee. It will now be heard by the full state house. Proposals similar to this one have failed in recent years in Mississippi and in Louisiana. And a Tennessee state senator was caught on video using a vulgar insult against a supporter of Insure Tennessee.
Are you willing to give up your health insurance? Senator Gardenhire.
So that's Republican Senator Todd Gardenhire from Chattanooga responding to a protester at the Capitol. The protester posted the video to YouTube after Tuesday's vote. The Republican has been targeted by protesters since his initial vote against the session. When asked about the incident, Gardenhire said he was angry that the protester had followed him to the bathroom and said, quote, "He's lucky I only called him by his first name."
There is some new hope now for families with kids who suffer from epileptic seizures. A bill letting families bring medicinal marijuana or cannabis oil into Tennessee without the fear of breaking the law passed its last committee yesterday. That bill is now up for a vote on the floor on both houses. It's expected to pass easily.
And other political news here now. It was a busy day on the Capitol Hill, starting with the Guns in Parks bill. Nashville Democrat Jeff Yarborough added an amendment making it legal to carry a gun at the state capitol. The Guns in Parks bill also strips city and county governments of the power to ban guns in parks, playgrounds, and sports fields. Yarborough opposed the Guns in Parks bill and says his amendment is there to prove a point.
I think at the very least, the amendment eliminates some of the hypocrisy in the building. And so if we're going to mandate that decisions for local governments, we should at least apply the same standards to ourselves.
Even with that amendment, the bill passed the Senate easily and now goes to the House.